Empire. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hedge Stuff. I'm Andy Raff.
Claire and Andy in the morning. Is that not on brand?
And this is Matt Pennington. No, it's fine. It's fine. It worries me how entertained you are by that little sting. Anyway.
Best jingle ever.
It's late October 2020, and we're going to talk about some stuff. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with open tickets?
Yeah.
Okay, start with open tickets.
We did open tickets. We spent we spent a chunk of time discussing them, and then I spent a load of time writing them, and then we launched them, and that was cool. It's kind of, it was, yeah, I mean, as much as anything, it was all provoked by the kind of government VAT cut. And we were like desperately scrambling to take as much advantage of that as we could. We were like, we must dig this opportunity or exploit it as hard as we can. But it was also just chatting to friends, and they were sort of like, you know, some of our really committed players kind of just buy all their tickets at the start of the year, and they just kind of, that's what they do. And there was a kind of like, well, if I did it again this year, you know, it's just kind of how I normally go. But of course, everybody's all the players in that category already had all their tickets for 2021
because they rolled them
over from 2020. So we thought, oh yeah, we came up with this thing and opened tickets, and it's gone really well. We've sold hundreds of them, which has been amazing, just absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's gone really well, and I think it'll be interesting. I keep saying to Graham, I think they're due to end, or we're due to stop selling them. They any tickets you bought will last in perpetuity, but we're due to stop selling them halfway through March. But I suspect some people quite like being able to buy tickets for other people for just various multitude of reasons. So I suspect at some point we'll end up creating something to replace them in some way. I haven't really worked
their transferability, you mean?
Exactly that. I think people, you know, we're seeing clear evidence. No, we're seeing probable evidence that people are buying tickets with the intention of transferring them to our friends. You know, someone's bought 10 years of tickets, which is either a startling endorsement of PD, or more likely we think that they've bought them for their friends in their group, which is great. And they get double benefit because you get sort of, every extra ticket is £5 off. So it is literally the cheapest way to buy tickets is one person to buy them all and then swap them out. But
you know, have there been any problems with them? Have you had any I can't work the interface emails or bugs or anything?
No, not a single one. Documentation is king. I don't know whether anybody even read the documentation that I spent a day making, but you know, but it's also a pretty simple interface. You know, worked quite hard to get that as straightforward as I could. So no, I've literally not had a single email. No, not a single email about it. I can't
That's
think of
pretty rare, because normally when we implement literally anything, we get at least 2 or 3 emails of people questioning how it works or
yeah, what this is, you know, or this is broken. No, all seems to have gone swimmingly.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really nice.
That's been the focus kind of thing for the last 6 weeks, getting all that set up. It took a while from when Greg punted the idea.
Yes, there was a lot to do actually, and I won't bore users, but in essence, our database sells tickets for an event, and it is actually non-trivial to sell tickets not for an event, because the database is like, no, a ticket is for an event. That's what it is. So I had to go through and rewrite and change a lot of code actually, to get it to be happy that someone had bought a ticket with no idea what event it was for. So there was quite a lot of challenges involved. It wasn't an easy piece of code, but it's all done. So
what else? We could talk about new player stuff, because we've been working a little bit on streamlining that segment of the wiki.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how we went down that sort of Warren.
Let me think. We were looking at the top bar on the wiki for some reason.
Oh no! I
No?
remember now. We
Yeah.
were looking at the overhaul that's coming to the website
Oh, yeah.
that we're working on, and that made us look at the introduction on the wiki, and that made us decide that the introduction section of the wiki was awful.
Because it was awful.
Because it was awful. Yeah, we assessed it and it was awful. And so then we were like, okay, we've got to do something about this. It's long overdue. People have been telling us for years that the wiki is a massive facing and it's really opaque to new players, and it is.
You see
and
a
we
lot of
weren't.
people saying, I'm overwhelmed by the size of the wiki. Where should I start? What do I need to read? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the wiki is, at heart, it's like the Wikipedia. It's a whole set of articles that you can search to find information about Empire. A lot of it isn't really intended to be sat down and just read like a book of rules. But obviously some pages are intended to be just read. And there weren't enough of those that are introductory, and they aren't arranged or presented in a positive way.
Well, when we wrote the wiki back in sort of 2011, 2012, just rereading the stuff we'd written, it was very much aimed at people who were already live role players, probably veterans of Maelstrom and Odyssey, and we wrote it with those in mind, not people who were coming into live role playing fresh or coming to PD fresh for that matter.
Yeah, and it's easy to think, well, why wouldn't you get that sorted? But it's a big piece of work. The one positive about the pandemic is that we're tackling great big pieces of work that we've been putting off for years, because there's just no way we can do them in the regular event cycle. We're just so busy with events that saying, oh yeah, we'll just take 4 months out and rewrite this or do this is, it's not doable. And the problem is you start a piece of work and then you run out of time, and then the work gets abandoned and you haven't really achieved anything.
So you've written
you've
written an exciting What is Live Role Playing page, which took us like a day and a half to edit because we've been live role playing for too long.
Yeah, I did. I wrote What is Live Role Playing, and then we're working on sort of follow-up pages to that that'll hopefully take you through it.
You're doing the game, which is, or you've just done the game, which is...
Well, we've done first drafts. Don't read them yet. They're awful. But,
they're on the main wiki because we were just simply too lazy to write them somewhere else. I've done a stab at the setting, which is awful, and it's in sort of 0 draft stage. And then I think we're talking about doing an Empire-specific What is the Empire page.
Yes, maybe there'll be one about the wiki and how to use the wiki, and making clear, do not sit down and read all the wiki.
And then some intro pages to things like battles. I think you mentioned, So basically,
we've got a plan.
Or so. Yeah, we've got a plan.
Yeah, but it'll be. But the pages are all in sort of effectively early draft. If you look at them at the moment, it says stub. They're stubbed at the top. It says, look, this is a page stage in progress.
Since we went through a couple of months ago and de-stubbed all the pages that had stubs on them for 8 years, I feel like stub has become a more useful.
It actually means something again.
Yes, it actually means something.
So we're discussing a work in progress and telling you all about it, saying don't go and look at it because it's not finished yet, which is brilliant. But no, it's a really important piece of work. It's long overdue, and it won't be right at the end of it, but it'll be a lot better than it was when we started.
It's all iterative,
Nothing's ever perfect. It is. Nothing is ever perfect. But yeah, just to pick up on, so obviously we've got we've done a load of planning. We've planned it out, and we've actually started the writing and so forth. And we got into that, and then obviously Mark Humes dropped his kind of introduction to Empire video.
There'll be a link to that in the belows. At the very least, I might splice in a couple of pictures of him and make him look nerdy or something, so make myself feel better.
Yeah, make him look nerdy.
Make him look nerdy.
Internet superstar that he is.
Yeah. So yes, just as we'd spent a week working on it, Mark did an excellent video of introduction to live role playing in Empire.
And it's great. It's just it's phenomenal. And it's really nice actually because. Mark has a tone and a style because he's a player and he's nothing to do with profound decisions. he can say rude things about people who don't take their hits that we can't say. We
Can't
might
say
think
publicly.
them. We might think them, but we can't say them. So, yeah, it's a great video. I think it really hits the notes. There's a couple of times where he went somewhere and I'm thinking, oh, don't forget to say this, and of course he then immediately says that. It's really well balanced, but it also has a really kind of fresh and interesting approach because it isn't laid out in the quite dry voice that PD uses when we describe stuff. So then that created a whole discussion really for us backstage of why are we even doing this?
Why are we bothering?
Words don't matter anymore. and I was roundly informed that all kids these days get their learning from YouTube and videos, and nobody reads anything anymore. So, but I'm contractually obliged to provide the internet with walls of text. So, us aging fuddy-duddies will carry on writing words for people who like to read words.
Well, people learn things in different ways. I understand.
Yeah,
You break
they
it
do.
down into reading, listening, doing, whatever. People who want to listen,
Also,
listen to Humes.
it's really hard to go to the search bar and type it and search in for a bit of the video.
That's fair.
If you want to look something up, videos are terrible. If you want to, but they are a better medium for explaining and conveying. Watching Mark's video, it's clear that we would never produce something that was as engaging. Engaging is the word I'm looking for. You're not going to produce a piece of writing that's as engaging as that, and that's okay. We'll have to look at some point about how we link out to videos like that and get, and so that the people who are coming to us from Profound Decisions rather than from Mark's podcasts or blogs or whatever, I don't know, whatever they're called. Videos from his channel. People who are coming to us and don't know about Mark, we'll be able to point them at that video and say, if you want a really good introduction, here is one.
Yeah, cool.
So that was great.
It saves us some work.
It does, but with the best will in the world, I'm a reasonable writer of walls of text. I looked at the video and, it's easy to look at these videos and just think, I just sat in front of a camera talking. And it's like, there's a skill and there's an artistry to that,
We can't even get the lighting right for these videos.
We can't even get the lighting right, but turn the lights on, it all just flickers.
I look like I've got an eye patch, like I said earlier, where I've been punched in the face because of the
like a pirate.
Because of where my lighting is. Yeah.
But it's even take out the technical sense. Mark has a persona on camera which is affable and gregarious.
With the best will in the world, when you did your 2020 Profound Decisions thing, you did look like you were doing a party political broadcast. and not on behalf of one of the good parties either. One of the really weird, yogic flying political parties. I suspect.
We're going to introduce Briars to the. I don't know. Yes, quite. Yeah, party political broadcast. You're right. It was very stentorious and somber, and it tried to be upbeat, and it was more like a funeral dirge.
Anyway, so that's video content. There's other video content around as well. I mean, we've got some people streaming.
Yeah,
I happened out on the back of watching Mark Humes' video. I went and looked at watched some of the other videos over the last couple of years, and there's a fair chunk of it out there.
Yeah, I went on Steve Howell's Hefty Yeti's channel.
Steve Howell.
Good fun.
I think that video's on YouTube. If it is, I'll put a link in the box below. Might as well.
Yeah, it's really nice to get a chance to go and do those things. It's just nice to chat to people about the game. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, as you say, there's lots of other videos. The one Holly G did, which is an animation, which she did years ago.
Oh,
now.
Yes, it's
still
First
great.
Link below.
I love that.